We often wonder, what is the API endpoint? What is the method? What are the parameters I can send to an API request? Learning an API can often be a challenging task, especially when it involves navigating between documentation pages and experimenting with curl commands over and over. For VMware Cloud Foundation, which has a vast and ever-evolving API surface, the challenge becomes even greater, particularly for those new to automation or API-driven workflows. To put things in perspective, the vSphere Automation API alone has more than 1,000 API requests. When you include APIs from other VCF components, the total number of APIs grows significantly. We recognize that navigating the VCF API landscape can be overwhelming for you. Instead of reverse engineering or doing the guesswork about how an API will work, you can simply import OpenAPI specification in your API client and generate the API collections automatically. Hello, my name is Jatin Purohit, and in this demo, I will show you how to generate a Postman collection using OpenAPI specification. Click on VCF API specification and wait for download to complete. Once the download is completed, extract the OpenAPI specification to your desired destination. OpenAPI specification is a JSON or YAML document. It has a few building blocks which are explained in this blog post in detail. However, for this demo, the important construct is the base URL, which serves as the API server for all the APIs in this collection. Open vcenter.yaml, which is an OpenAPI specification for vSphere Automation API. Update the URL and provide the URL with vCenter server FQDN or IP address. Now we have the OpenAPI spec ready with the base URL, and we can import it in Postman to create the API collection. Open Postman, click Import, upload the vcenter.yaml file, and click Import. This may take few minutes. Now you can see OpenAPI import is successful. Now it is time to create a session with vCenter server and generate an authentication token which can be used to authenticate other APIs. The API to create a session with vCenter server is available under sub-collection labeled as session. Click cis.session create. Go to authorization tab. I will take a moment here to highlight some of the things for you. As you can see, we have few variables over here, the base URL. If I hover my mouse over the base URL, you can see that I vCenter server FQDN. This is the same vCenter server FQDN which we have provided in the OpenAPI specification. Similarly, I can see two more variables, username and password. These variables are there to provide the credentials to establish the session with vCenter server. This is the power of OpenAPI spec, which automatically generated the API collection, prepared the API request with its variable and parameter. Let us resume and provide the username and password and proceed next. Save the credentials to a collection so that you can reuse the same in other APIs as well. Click on Send, and we have successfully established a session with vCenter server. The status code is 200, which is what we all look for. Now it is time to see another example, and in this case, I will list all the virtual machines. Copy the authentication token, browse the VM API collection, and click on vcenter.vm list, which is in fact the API to list all the virtual machines. Disable all the parameters, click on authorization, and look, we have a variable API key, again automatically prepared for you. Enter authentication key in API key, click Send. As you can see all the virtual machine and their respective details in a JSON format. Click on Preview to see the output in tabular format. That is all from this demo, and you have seen how we have automatically created a Postman collection out of OpenAPI spec. Thank you for watching.